Catherine, when you filed your protection order, what were you thinking when you filed? Like, do you know, like, what were you looking for? What was going through your head? Why did you finally decide to go through with it?
Yeah, so, after talking to Eliza, my advocate, on the phone, it was the first call. We went over a lot of things, like that she wanted to make sure I was safe and in a safe place and all those kinds of things. But then she suggested that I file a protection from abuse, and I've never done that before. So what she did is she directed me to the Pine Tree Legal website, and they had the whole form on the website. So I knew, I read all of the questions that they ask you on the protection from abuse orders, a lot of demographic stuff, but then there's a whole narrative that you needed to write. So I did that. I thought out what I wanted to write before I went there. I mean, I sort of, I wrote in my journal, kind of free form. These are the things that happened, and this is how it happened, and how I felt, things like that. But unfortunately, I didn't have anybody with me, so I had to go to the court. So I was afraid. I was afraid. I didn't know whether he was gonna be. Could he be there? Would he be there? Would he know? Would he see me? So I was really nervous. But the clerk there was very nice, and she gave me the form, and she said, go sit in the conference room. So I went and sat in the conference room, and I just, I wrote everything that happened. That I think that he drugged me, and I was unconscious when the assault happened. And I also wrote about he's a very rageful man, quietly rageful man, and always has been. So I gave a history in the narrative of this is what has happened. This is what has happened over 8 years. The emotional abuse, the emotional neglect, the verbal abuse. So, so as I was writing, I was calmed down a little bit, and I had the door closed, and I felt safe. And then I submitted it to them, and she said to wait, because the judge granted a temporary order right away, which was awesome. So in other words, walking out of that courtroom, if he had done anything then or tried to call me or anything, immediately I would have been able to call the police. So that's kind of how the beginning of it, that's how it happened in terms of filing it.